In today's video, I'm going to show you how to clean up TVs and get rid of the reflection if you want to. I like to add a dark gray to black gradient on the TVs to just give it a nice clean look. And so today I figured I'd start with the sort of the most complicated situation that you're going to come across. So if we zoom into this TV here, we've got this plant that's blocking a majority of the TV. So I'm going to show you how to mask this out. So what we'll do is we'll start with our layer here and just duplicate it. And then we're going to be working on this top layer to mask out that TV. So we're just going to zoom in a little bit here. And we've got our polygonal lasso tool. And we're just going to select the main square of the TV at first. And then usually what I like to do is add just a small feather. So I'm going to feather it by 1 pixel. We're going to go to select, go inverse, and then just hit that mask button there. And we're just going to turn off that bottom layer real quick just so you can see what's going on. So you can see that it's cut out the trees and everything. So now what we want to do is we want to select basically the luminosity and the color of this tree. So let's go and start tackling that part of it. So if you have the main top layer that we masked out selected, let's go ahead and go select, and we're going to go to color range, and we're just going to click on those trees and just increase that opacity until you could see that pretty much everything in that tree is going to be selected in there. So I think right about there should be good. So once we have that selected, we can go ahead and just make our paintbrush white and just start painting those trees back into the mask. And if we turn off this bottom layer, we'll be able to see what's going on. So if we just paint these back in, let's make sure our brush opacity is at 100. We're going to go ahead and paint those trees back in. Okay, so now if I go select, deselect, let's go ahead and add back that bottom layer. And with that bottom layer selected, we're then going to add, with this little plus button down here, we're going to add a new layer. And we're going to go to our gradient tool. So if you hit that drop down menu from the gradient tool, and you want to make sure that you are on this dark gray to black when you go to this basics one, okay? So if you want to adjust that anymore, you can go up to this right panel here, and you can adjust that to where it's a little bit darker or lighter, however you want it. So we'll just leave it right there. So what we want to do is we want to drag it from light to dark. So let's go about like right there or so. And then if we zoom out a little bit more here, you can drag this a little bit further over. And then you can see where it's got a little bit of a bloom around this plant here. This is a tricky one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean that up a little bit more. We'll go up to our top layer. We'll go select, color range, and I'm only going to select that one color that was causing that cast. So we're going to select that color range. Let's go invert. With that selected, we can now go back to our mask. And then you want to invert your selection. Go selection, invert. We're just going to go ahead and paint that back out around that tree. And then select, deselect again. Still have a little bit that didn't get selected, so we're just going to manually clean that up around there. Okay, so now once that's done, if you want to add back any reflection, some natural reflection, go to this opacity slider on the gradient level and just tone that down. I usually like to leave it right around 90 to 2% to 96%, something around there, just to have a little natural reflection, but nothing too much. So we'll have it right about there or so. And then if you zoom out, we've got our before, after. And I can just adjust that a little bit more. I kind of prefer it a little bit more of a gradient there to make it cleaner. So that's how you mask out the TV and add a gradient to give it a cleaner editorial look. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.